Hi, Acharya Fleet Maull here for Shambhala Mountain Center. Welcome to the Beyond Mindfulness Conference, Day 2. If you're just joining us, this is an amazing opportunity to enjoy the teachings of more than 30 amazing Dharma teachers, mindfulness teachers, wisdom holders, thought leaders in the field of mindfulness and meditation. And tonight we're going to do a number of things, and as I lead this off, I would like to recap a little bit from the first day of the conference, and we're going to do a short guided meditation, and we're also going to let you know about what's coming up. I also want to let you know what's been going on in the community. So we're more than 26,000 strong now, and it's a global community representing 135 countries. Can you imagine that? 26,000 human beings, and it could be more because it's a little difficult to calculate. It could be anywhere from 26,000 to 28,000 from 135 countries around the world. So this is truly a global event. And during the past day, we had people from 100 countries tuning in, watching the videos, and we've had over 400 comments on the various videos. So great job on that, and I'll be talking about that a little bit later, and really encouraging you all to add even more comments, because 400 is a lot, but it's not a lot out of the 26,000 people that we have tuning in here. So really want to encourage you to really add your comments and your questions and so forth below all the videos. But at any rate, I also want to commend everybody for doing a great job, and it's really great to see that kind of activity in this community. So it's really wonderful. So I would like to just talk a little bit about this amazing last day of the videos. Now, if you haven't watched any of the videos, you still have 24 hours to watch all of the first day videos. But just to recap a little bit, I had the wonderful opportunity to interview Joseph Goldstein. And so if you saw that, it was really a wonderful dialogue in which Joseph really conveyed the classical foundations of mindfulness. And between that and Judith Simmer Brown's presentation on what is mindfulness, I think we got a really clear view of the classical foundation for mindfulness practice coming at least out of the Buddhist tradition. And of course, there are many worldwide contemplative traditions out of which you can draw for various mindfulness practices. But in terms of the roots in traditional Buddhist contemplative practice, Judith and Joseph did a fabulous job of clarifying that for us. And I wanted to quote one thing that Joseph said in terms of, he was quoting the Buddha here, and that he was basically pointing to the fact that, you know, I think it's been attributed to the Buddha that said the mind is the forerunner of all things, right? So our mind goes, so our life goes. And Joseph said, once we are aware, mindful, what are we learning from being mindful? What are we learning from being mindful? And developing a sense of mindfulness in the service of wisdom, which I thought was really an important aspect of his talk or the dialogue we had together, in that mindfulness practice, going to its depth, reveals to us the fundamental teachings from the Buddha, but also the fundamental reality that's expressed in many worldwide wisdom traditions of the impermanence of things, that anything that has the nature to arise also has the nature to fall away. So moving into that depth of realizing the impermanence of things, in which might be kind of a frightening thing because we're kind of attached to the solidity of things, right? But actually therein lies all of our freedom. So I thought that was a very powerful part of the dialogue that Joseph and I had. As well, Bhikkhu Bodhi, really amazing. Bhikkhu Bodhi is an amazing scholar and monk for 35 or 40 years, and a well-known social activist. And he led us in a beautiful guided meditation, helping us connect with what the people in Nepal have been experiencing with the earthquake there. And of course, since he recorded that talk, there's been a second earthquake. And as well, a guided meditation around helping us connect with what the people of Baltimore have been experiencing, with the tragedies there and the turmoil that erupted in that city in relation to yet another police shooting and tragedy related to that. So really beautiful expression from Bhikkhu Bodhi of connecting our mindfulness practice with the suffering that's in our world, and in particular with some of the suffering that happens in the least resourced places of both our American society and our global society. John Dupuy, integral theory, which is something I've always been very connected to, and personal connection with Ken Wilber and his work, having lived in Boulder for many years, and having based the work from our Peacemaker Institute, which we've now rebirthed as the Engaged Mindfulness Institute, really built around the 4 quadrants in Wilber's Acharya integral model. So John Dupuy talking about mindfulness in the 4 quadrants. The 4 quadrants are simply the interior aspects at the individual and collective levels, and the exterior aspects at the individual and collective levels. And so what does it mean to, and these are all happening interdependently, and they're coexisting and happening simultaneously, but it's a big map view of how to look at human consciousness and human behavior, human society, the whole thing. And so looking at mindfulness within these 4 quadrants, it was really a fascinating presentation. Janet Salenchus, both Janet Salenchus and Acharya Dale Asriel, Shastri Janet Salenchus and Acharya Dale Asriel did a wonderful job with guided meditation. Dale Asriel focusing on a body scan, really an essential practice, really, to ground our practice in the body. And Janet Salenchus talking about the 3 C's, looking at meditation practice from the perspective of caring, curiosity, and culture, right? That in some ways you could equate mindfulness with caring, right? When we really care about something, we pay attention to it. So if we're really caring for our own body and mind, our own being, we will pay attention. And curiosity is really the spirit of mindfulness practice altogether, being curious about our own experience. And then culture, that this quality of just sitting up with a dignified posture is really the ground expression of a dignified human culture. And then finally, Steve Hickman, who is the director at UC, University of California, UC San Diego, where they have a really thriving program in training teachers in various mindfulness-based interventions, including MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, and mindfulness-based self-compassion, and 3 or 4 other mindfulness-based interventions. It's a really thriving training center for mindfulness centers. And Steve Hickman gave a wonderful presentation focused in particular around mindfulness-based self-compassion. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me, right? One of the grounds of mindfulness is certainly that it has to be grounded in a relationship of gentleness and non-aggression and basic friendliness for ourselves. And the world needs so much compassion. And if we are going to bring compassion to the world, we first have to discover how we can actually have a compassionate relationship with ourselves. So the idea of mindfulness-based self-compassion, when I first heard that expression, I really loved it. So we had quite an amazing first day, and I really encourage you, if you haven't seen all those videos, go see them. They're available for another 24 hours. And then if you happen to miss one, of course, you can purchase the package from Shambhala Mountain Center, which will have all the videos along with an incredible additional array of wonderful resources. So before going further, let's, I'm just checking my time here to see how we're doing. Let's do a little mindfulness practice. And in particular, I want to lead us tonight in a compassion practice. And actually, to begin with, a self-compassion practice, but then we'll generate that out for other beings and for the world and for life altogether. So if you would, take a comfortable posture in whatever kind of seating arrangement you have. Maybe you're sitting on a chair or sitting on the side of your bed or sitting on a cushion. So take a nice, naturally uplifted, dignified posture. Hands simply resting on your legs above the knees. You can have your eyes closed or shift your eye gaze downwards, maybe 6 or 7 feet in front of you on the floor. And if you had the opportunity to watch the video with and follow that guided meditation with Acharya Dale Azrael, that idea of a body scan, we could just quickly do a body scan. So let's begin really with our head, because we're very auditorially and visually focused most of the time. So often our attention is up here in the head. So let's have our attention be there and then gradually drop it down through the body. So we'll just take a few seconds to do that. So moving our attention from the head down through our neck, into our shoulders, and then the upper part of our body with the collarbone in front, the shoulder blades and back. Moving down through the spine and through the rib cage and chest, and feeling our breath there with the expansion and contraction of the rib cage. And then down through our torso and through our waist into our hips and buttocks and lower belly. And down into our upper legs, our thighs, and through the knees, lower legs, ankles, and all the way to the soles of our feet. And really connecting there with the earth. Whether if we're sitting on a chair, we're particularly connected with the soles of our feet to the floor, the ground, the earth below. Or if we're sitting on the floor, sitting on a cushion, we're connected both through our seat and our legs to the floor, the earth, the ground. And really feeling ourselves connected to the earth, sitting with this uplifted, dignified posture, which the founder of Shambhala, Trungpa Rinpoche, often referenced as sitting like a king or a queen, quite naturally, with that natural dignity on our throne, and fulfilling our destiny as human beings to connect heaven and earth. So with good posture, we have a sense of the earth and the solidity of that. We have a sense of the vastness of heaven above. And we connect that and bring those together at our human heart. Feeling our breath and having a gentle mindfulness and awareness of the body and the breath, of actually feeling the body and feeling the breath, feeling the earth below, feeling the vastness of heaven above, having that as our reference point of being present, right here, right now. I would invite you to do this guided compassion meditation or loving kindness meditation with me. So we're going to recite a series of statements to begin with for ourselves. And these are invocations or blessings, in a sense, of wishing these qualities for ourselves to begin with. And then we're going to extend that outwards for others as well. So the first is, may I be safe. Simply, may I be safe, physically safe. Okay. May I be peaceful. May I be peaceful. The third is, may I be healthy. Physical health, well-being. And finally, the fourth statement, may I be at ease, a quality of ease and equanimity. So just repeating these again and again to yourself at your own pace, and just inviting that they'll sink in over time. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I be at ease. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I be at ease. And as we're repeating these statements to ourselves, actually feeling these qualities of feeling safe, feeling peaceful, feeling healthy, physical well-being, physical happiness, if you will, and feeling at ease. Inviting this to really come into our body, heart, and mind, even into our brain and nervous system, if you will. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be at ease. And then extending this out to all beings. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be at ease. And including ourselves in that. May I and all beings be safe, and so on. Following the lead of Bhikkhu Bodhi, Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi's guided meditation, all the beings in Baltimore and what they've been through, and all the beings connected with the other turmoil related to police shootings in our American society, all those who are suffering in Nepal with these earthquakes, and all the endless suffering really throughout our world. May I and all beings be safe. May I and all beings be peaceful. May I and all beings be healthy. May I and all beings be at ease. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to continue to encourage all of us to watch all the videos as much as we can, and to really post our comments and questions below each video. And let's keep working together to create this global community and have it be a really interactive community. And not only posting, but let's read all of each other's comments. It's been fascinating for me to read through the comments from so many people from all around the world and their responses to these wonderful teachings we're receiving. So I really encourage us all to keep going with that. So this upcoming day, and you'll be able to see these right below this video you're watching, you'll see a link where you'll be able to get access immediately after this to all of the videos for day 2, which is focusing around compassion and love and relationship, this whole world of the human heart and human relationship from a mindfulness perspective. So Reverend Angel Kyoto Williams, my co-host, and Reverend Zenju Earthland Manuel was an amazing, they're both really amazing Dharma teachers and social activists, and they engage in a really fearless and open conversation about sex, gender, and race in contemporary society, but also in particular in contemporary Dharma communities. Then Howard Martin, the Executive Vice President of HeartMath, talks about the intelligence of the heart. If any of you have had the opportunity to work with the HeartMath material, it's really quite amazing. The whole idea that our heart itself contains neuronal tissue, and the idea, in the Asian traditions, we talk about body, speech, and mind, and it's body connected to the brain, speech here, and mind here. So there's always been this idea of the heart being connected with the essence of consciousness and mind. And we know now neurobiologically that the heart actually is part of our overall neuronal system. And so Howard Martin talking about that. Richard Rioch, the former president of Shambhala and a social activist who's been very involved in Sri Lanka, and before being president of Shambhala had an important role with Amnesty International, is unpacking some of the rich symbolism of the sacred space of the Great Stupa of Dharmakaya at Shambhala Mountain Center, which, if you haven't had the opportunity to visit, should be on everyone's so-called bucket list for sure. If maybe there's a Dharma influenced or mindfulness influenced bucket list, then certainly the Great Stupa of Dharmakaya should be on it for all of us. I've had the pleasure to be there many times throughout the years, and it's an incredibly sacred space. Acharya Susan Shea, who's both a senior teacher in Shambhala and been very involved in the world of social action and communication and consulting and working with groups. And she's involved with the Presidency Institute, the work of Otto Scharmer around the world, has so many different areas of her work from which she could share. and she's inviting us to let go of self-criticism and to access the ever-present gifts of mindfulness and self-compassion. Acharya Galen Ferguson, another senior teacher from Shambhala, is asking us to contemplate the connection between feeling our own lives fully and making a positive impact on the world around us. And I've been very happy to be involved with Acharya Ferguson in some of the work going on in Chicago, where the Shambhala Center has been convening work along with Sakya Mipam Rinpoche under the title of the Imagining Peace Work, and building coalitions of community organizations dedicated to preventing violence, especially violence against youth in the city of Chicago. And then Acharya Judith Simmer Brown guides us in a loving kindness meditation similar to the very brief one I just led. So you'll be able to do a much fuller loving kindness meditation, guided meditation with Acharya Judith Simmer Brown. And then finally, best-selling author Lodro Rinsler, and one of the young Dharma teachers that's really kind of out there with several books now. And he reminds us of the importance of really loving ourselves through each stage of our romantic lives. And his first book was I think it was called Buddha Goes into a Bar. Was that it? Something like that. I'm sorry, Lodro, if I don't have the title exactly. But it's very contemporary Dharma that I think young people, the younger generations, can really connect with. So we have a fabulous lineup tonight, and I really encourage you all to dive into the material. And please don't forget to post your comments and post your questions. And if you don't get a chance to watch any of these videos, don't forget that you can purchase the resource package with all the videos, very high quality, and all these other additional materials, including a 3-day retreat and a 7-day meditation challenge with other wonderful teachers. So again, welcome to day 2 of Beyond Mindfulness. I'm really excited to be part of this global community with all of you, and looking forward to watching all the videos again this evening and tomorrow. So really enjoy and welcome.